Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. A disgrace is what Jamie Carragher is describing Mo Salah as for his outburst after the Leeds game. He says it's choreographed. He says he's thrown his club under the bus. And he also says that Mo Salah has been throwing right backs under the bus for the last 8 years by not tracking back. What are your thoughts on Jamie Carragher's response to Mo Salah? We knew it was coming. Mo Salah knew it was coming. He referenced it in his outburst on Saturday night. But look, ultimately, I think that the first thing I would say is that, look, Jamie Carragher doesn't like Mo Salah. That's the perception. And, you know, he can deny that, but it was a long reaction to something that I thought didn't even need a reaction that big. To say it was choreographed was interesting. This is what he said. I thought it was a disgrace what he did after the game. And I do agree with that, by the way. But he also goes on to say, some people have painted it as an emotional outburst. I don't think it was. I think whenever Mo Salah stops in a mixed zone, which he's done 4 times in 8 years, it's choreographed by him and his agent to cause maximum damage and to strengthen his own position. Basically saying that Mo Salah is about himself and nobody else. He's selfish, and this is not about Liverpool, it's about Mo Salah, and that's all he really cares about. Look, the response is fine. Mo Salah even referenced Carragher in his outburst on Saturday. But I think over the last year, it's quite clear that Jamie Carragher, for whatever reason, doesn't really like Mo Salah. He certainly, you know, was very condescending of him in his final few months before he signed the contract. And then Trent didn't sign the contract and didn't get anywhere near the treatment many of us suspected Salah would have got from Carragher. So for whatever reason, you know, Carragher doesn't like him. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think Liverpool fans have a problem with that. I think, you know, some people don't like Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United. It's just the way of the world. And Jamie Carragher has the right to do that. I don't think he'd ever admit he doesn't like Mo Salah, but there is certainly something that grinds his gears there. I think it's very obvious, and he's not wasted this opportunity to go in on him. But I don't agree it was choreographed. I don't agree it was choreographed because I think if it was choreographed, what does Mo Salah get out of this? I personally think it was a disgrace what he did. I'll come to that in a moment. But I think what caused it is sitting on the bench at Ellen Road and not getting any minutes, watching Liverpool drop points and realising that even in a Liverpool side that's bottling leads like that, he can't even get minutes on the pitch. And I think he's walked out impromptu, said what he said in a state of frustration. Because I don't see why you would plan it. I don't think why you would be waiting to do that. You're breaching your contracts. You're massively damaging your legacy, and you're upsetting the people that matter. Now, look, I think all top players are egotistical and self-centered. I don't think there's a problem with that. Ronaldo is. I'm sure Messi is. To be the best, you've got to believe you're the best. So I ain't got a problem with arrogance or anything like that. But I don't think he choreographed it. I don't think it was planned because it wouldn't make sense to do that. What comes out of this? Ultimately, you're probably ending your Liverpool career under a cloud to get a move elsewhere that you probably would have got anyway. And as I said yesterday, I firmly believe that, look, Carragher's got his own axe to grind, and it's an opportunity to jump in and go, look at the way he's treated my club, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, how do you solve this issue? There's a picture of Mo Salah today in an empty Liverpool training ground, taking a picture of himself while Liverpool are in Italy playing a big game against Inter Milan. This battle of wills continues, and what I think needs to happen is you have Mo Salah, who's one of the greatest players to play in the Premier League. You've got Liverpool, one of the greatest clubs in the world, and you've got a situation where they're both pitted against each other. Whatever the scenario is going to be, and I don't think it's really possible for Slot to bring Salah back in because it undermines Slot now. I think there has to be a parting of the ways. But you need to do that in a way where you get in a room, maybe you let it calm down a little bit, but you get in a room and go, look, it hasn't ended the way we wanted it to end, but what a journey. Let's play this out in a way where, because Liverpool Football Club don't want Liverpool fans disliking Salah, and surely Salah doesn't want Liverpool fans turning on Liverpool Football Club. So you've got to get to a point where respect is there for both. And you move away from it in a situation whereby in the future, Mo Salah maintains that legendary status at the club where he's not heading off to Barcelona or Real Madrid. He's right at the end of his career. That's what they need to get to. People need to stop chucking petrol on the fire, whether that's from Salah's side or from Liverpool's side. So they need to get to that point. And I feel that, you know, some of this from Carragher probably adds, you know, flames to the fire in the sense that, you know, where he said that he's a legendary figure and all those players get a privilege, exactly the same one as Salah gets at Liverpool. He doesn't have to chase back. That's what he has at Liverpool. But when we're talking about throwing people under the bus, he's thrown the Liverpool right back under the bus for 8 years. Imagine playing behind him for 8 years. I mean, that is an incredible statement when you think about how Trent Alexander-Arnold was, pretty much hailed as one of the best right backs we've ever produced for many years, playing behind Mo Salah. So what we're talking about there, that Mo Salah's been throwing right backs under the bus for the last few years whilst being the player that's made Liverpool ridiculously talented and ridiculously successful, along with Trent. I think some of it's just crossing the line of whatever personal vendetta they've got going on between each other. I think ultimately what you don't want is what happens in the modern game, which is this club against player thing, because there are fans out there that value players over clubs. It's weird to me because the club is everything, but some people do follow players more than they follow a club. And I've already seen people on social media backing Salah over Liverpool who are Liverpool fans. So you just don't want that going on. The bottom line is no player should be coming out after a bad performance and making a statement like that throws the club under the bus. They shouldn't be doing that because it's disrespectful to the club. It's disrespectful to the fans. Mo Salah's not right for doing that. And anybody who thinks that he is, I can't get on board with that. He shouldn't do that. He shouldn't go out straight after a game, get the press together, who are vultures. These are not your mates. These are not fans. He's talking to vultures who he knows full well are going to put it everywhere. That was out of order. Now you can put it in a drawer and say, look, you were emotionally charged. You're not a politician. You're a top class, world class, legendary status footballer who emotionally has just felt, pissed off and gone and done something. But there needs to be an apology and there needs to be an acceptance that's out of order, because we can't have players doing that. It'd be a very entertaining Premier League if we had players doing this after every game, but you can't have that. The respect moral code has to be there. But that mistake needs to be acknowledged, and it needs to be acknowledged from both sides. And comments about he's never won the AFCON with Egypt, or he's thrown right backs under the bus for years, and things like that. It's just petty. It's petty at the end of the day. I mean, I don't know what status Jamie Carragher earns under the Liverpool, but surely he's one of your legends, and Mo Salah is definitely is one. So calm it down. Emotions are running a bit high, and work to a situation where Mo Salah is going to leave Liverpool and maintains that legendary status, and Liverpool comes out of it with respect, because Liverpool must win. They must be it's not about owners, it's not about slot. I think if you take it into slot or the owners, you might side with Salah. It's about Liverpool Football Club and what that stands for. We're in a situation at United at the moment where I don't like our owners, I don't really like the manager that much, and I don't really like the players. But I love Manchester United because it's what Manchester United represents to me. It's not, the owners don't represent Man United, the manager doesn't, and the players doesn't. You want them to, but if they're not doing it the way you want to and the standards that you have, then it's just the name that means something to you. And that's what this is. It's not about Jamie Carragher, it's not about Arne Slot, it's not about the owners, it's about Liverpool and Mo Salah. And he's crossed the line there because fans don't want players coming out and doing that, and he shouldn't have done it. And that's why he has a contract, and that's why professionalism should be there. But I do think Carragher's made it a little bit about their ongoing sort of back and forth that they're having, and it doesn't need to be that. It doesn't need to go that far. I think ultimately where we get to is that he's not playing against Inter. I don't think he'll play against Brighton. Then you're into the AFCON. That gives the club and the player a month to resolve the issue. And maybe he comes back after a month and, everything's okay. Or maybe January transfer window he goes. But in that time, if he's going to go, there does need to be something done. Some sort of, even if it's Liverpool's press marketing going over to the AFCON and doing something for camera, there needs to be some parting of the ways professionally if that's what's going to happen. Anyway, get your comments in. Lots to digest. Give us your thoughts. Smash like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.